Assembly time. All right. Assembly time. All right, let's start gathering. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, let's get the show on the road. All right, once again, I want to welcome everyone who has made it to this event. You're in the right room. PTZ Cameras, the game changer for production, proudly brought to you by Camerajoint, Nigeria's #1 camera store. Please, let's put our hands together for Camerajoint. Say thank you, Camerajoint. Personally, I'm glad to be in this room today, and I don't know what the experience has been for you. It's amazing to see a few ladies here. Please put your hands together for them. Yes, we talked about you before you entered the room. Where are our ladies? And then you showed up. Thank you very much for showing up. We appreciate you. I'm Olukaide Alayode. Um, I'm a friend of Camera Joints. I work at Mabi Media Limited. All right. It's amazing to be here today. We appreciate Camera Joint for making this event possible, for thinking about the creatives in Nigeria. But I must also proudly say that Camera Joint is actively serving creatives across the West African region. I mean, they get deals from offshore, supply this to this country, supply this to that country. It's a it's a growing company and it's growing in leaps and bounds. All right. So thank you, Camera Joint. We also want to appreciate the partners of Camera Joint for this event. Put your hands together for Canon. Put your hands together for Rockware. Put your hands together for Yola Live, OC, HD, Katov. Sounded like speaking in tongues. Um, please put your hands together for them all and put your hands together for yourselves. All right. We also have the camera joint team on the ground here, um, whether on the administrative side or on the operations and sales side. They're here to serve us, to answer questions. I think they've also brought in um, some hardware for us to have um, a sense of look and feel of how some of these devices are. Without much ado, um, also don't forget that you can, um, after the event or after the, I don't know what to call it now, speeches or presentations, you're going to be able to speak with them, whether on the Canon side um, or on the other partner's side. Camera joints will be able to answer your questions, whatever they may be. We're going to have a number of sessions, but before I talk about that, um, this facility um, is provided by Hill City. And so if you need to use the restroom, just walk out uh, from this door, and then the door to your left will be the restroom if you need to excuse yourself. Um, if you need any questions asked, answered, so just go to the back and talk to the ushers there from Camera Joints. They'll be able to help you. All right, the first session is going to be introduction to PTZ cameras and live production. Of course, I assume PTZ is pan tilt and zoom. All right. I hope I'm not wrong. Eh, all right. So there's going to be that presentation. Um, you're ready. Two. All right, two presentations actually. All right. Then there will be another presentation. It's going to be a technical session, PTZ camera setup and configuration. All right. Um, that's going to be a presentation by a member staff of Camerajoint. All right. So they don't just sell equipment, they have technical guys in-house to walk you through. Um, and then we're going to have Canon PTZ cameras, the manufacturer session. So again, Camerajoint has brought in the one of the manufacturers, the brands that have PTZ cameras, to come and tell us about their own brand, what the uniqueness is, what is the like they say in business, unique selling proposition. Why should I buy Canon PTZ cameras as opposed to uh, any other provider? And that's going to be by a gentleman called Constantine. All right. Then we're going to have a short break. Yeah, a short break. Then practical PTZ control and operation. All right. So you know what that means already. A gentleman called Mr. Theophilus, who's very, very live production and PTZ operations, also going to be talking to us about um, these devices. And that gives us an opportunity to also ask some of the questions that we may have regarding deploying these things, not just safely, but efficient. All right. Um, then PTZ camera exhibition and product showcase. That's also going to be happening. Then, yeah, we started a little bit of networking here. So there's going to be networking, consultation, and sales, and then closing remarks. All right, so that's what the lineup looks like today. Again, I want to um, again congratulate you for coming here today. I believe you're going to learn a lot, as I am going to learn a lot. I've met quite a number of intelligent, exciting people. Somebody's here from all the way from Edo State. That's one person that I know. Please put your hands together for Mr. Emmanuel, our guest. Welcome into Lagos now. He has been seeing beautiful faces in Lagos. Say, I'm thinking of coming to Lagos. Is he welcome or not? Please put your hands to see. We love you. We love you. Put your hands together for him. So, is anybody out coming from outside of Lagos here? Come on. Put your hands together for him. You're welcome. What's your name, please? Huh?
Someone.
Samuel. From where?
Ibadan.
I grew up in Ibadan. You're welcome, my brother. Huh? Yeah, who else? You're welcome. You're welcome. Who? Who else is outside? Is here from outside Lagos? All right. I was born outside Lagos. All right. Okay, so without much ado, let's get the show on the road. Gentleness, are you ready? Please wave at me if you are. You're ready. Please put your hands together and don't stop until he gets here. Mr. Gentleness of Camerajoint. Don't you like his branded jacket as the Camerajoint jacket? Yeah. All right.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jen Tunes. So I work with Camerajoint as their service center engineer. So our section is going to be uh, somehow long and short. Just find a way to make it work out. All right. So I should be. We'll be running. I'll just telling you guys mostly on a technical presentation of how to connect your PTZ camera and yeah, the basic things. So first, we know that the PTs, I believe most of us have done our research. PTs, I mean pan and zoom, you understand? So which means you are doing everything that the cameraman should be doing. So the camera is already doing every single thing for you. So the aim is to eliminate the cameramans. I know it sounds somehow, but that's the truth. That's the truth. So the things I will just show you basically for your PTZ to work perfectly fine, there are some equipment you need. There's your LAN cable, your HDMI, your SDI. You have your this when the sorry, so let me know. Okay, so you have your switch, you have your controller, you have your mixer or switcher, which one you call it, and the cameras and your network if need be. All right. So I'm going to take you through how to connect each and every one of them for them to communicate properly, because without them communicating properly, these cameras you see here will not be able to display properly, or they will not even be able to. They might be showing on your switcher, but they will not be showing on your controller to control them, to move them the way you should. So that is the networking aspect of the PTZ camera. So some people might think, might ask, do you need what's it called? Do you need uh, a network to make it work? It's not a must. So with your switch, they already communicated on, they're already talking on a local network. So currently here, we are working with a local network. You understand? So we can still make it. That's why I'm using a cable. But if you're working on a wireless network, which means I have to put in a router into it for me to connect to it without a cable. So it's much better for you to connect with a cable to have full access easily than connecting wirelessly. Wireless is fine, but I prefer you using wireless on your phone or when you want to browse. But anytime you want to do a hardware configuration, even I don't know, normal IT configuration, it's better you connect via the hardware, via the cable to have full access to what you are doing. All right. So since I'm still okay, yeah, my presentation is up. Sorry. All right. So my name is Jensen, as I said earlier. So the introduction, I think basically I've talked about it. We are trying. I know I didn't write eliminating the cameraman, but it's one of the important thing of the remote camera control, perfect church and conference live streaming, and one operator can manage multiple cameras. All right. So this is a basic setup. It might be confusing for you, but I will break it down so you can get to understand everything. So now if you look there, you see the cameras. So we are currently connected to 7 cameras. So we are using 4 different companies: the Holy Land camera, PTZ camera, the Rockwell PTZ camera, the HD cutoff PTZ camera, and the Canon PTZ camera. 4 different cameras. And they were able to communicate to give us the footage you'll be seeing throughout this presentation or throughout our gathering. So there is another thing there, which is the switcher. The switcher is there, and the switch. There's a switcher, which is your mixer or switcher, anyone you call it, and there is a switch box. So this down is the switch box. These are the cameras. This is the switcher. Your laptop for configuration, and your PTZ controller. So now, if you look at this diagram, you see that there are colors here to show you which and what is happening. So possibly I can still give you the slide when we are done, so you can master the configuration of every single thing or look into it and get a view of what it looks like. So now, every camera, every single camera is entering into the switch. Still, every single camera is entering into the switcher. So now automatically, what is entering into the switch is your LAN cables. What's entering into the switcher is your SDI or your HDMI. So the PTZ camera, sorry, this PTZ controller is entering into the switch. So now the PTZ controller will be what is controlling every single camera. So, but how is it able to communicate with every single camera since it's not connected to every single camera? That's where this your switch comes in. So now the switch is a communication channel for every device here. Like every device that can be connected via the Ethernet. Communication with your laptop, communication with your PTZ controller, communication with your cameras. So your laptop, your cameras, and your PTZ controller comes into what? The switch. One other thing is you can use more than one switch. So let's say you have 10 cameras and you have a switch of, let's say, 8-port switch. What do? Do you need to buy a new one? If you have, let's say you have a smaller switch of four ports, one thing to understand is this switch is a PoE switch. What do I mean? It's a power over internet switch, which means it powers everything. So now, right over there, when you go around to check, you understand that the switch you are using is powering all the cameras. We don't need any external power. You can see there is no external power connected to it. It's just two cables connected to each camera, the HDMI or the SDI, some are SDI, some are HDMI, and your LAN cable. So the LAN cable brings power and brings data. So with LAN cable, you can either send power, data, audio. You can either send what power, data, or audio. So so the PoE switch is powering every camera you are seeing around here, and we are able to get the informations from or the videos into this switcher from the HDMI or SDI cables. So I think that's basically the connections. So I will be going to show you how to configure, how to log into each camera. So when you set up a camera, since we're using different cameras, so for you to be able to put them on the same network, to allow them to be on the same network, how? So some camera by default comes with an IP of 1.1.196.168.0.1 or 1.1 or 10.1 or 100.1. So now you have to make sure that for them to communicate easily, that your switcher, sorry, that your cameras and your PTZ controller, they are all on the same subnet max. You understand? So I'm going to show you, I'm going to reconfigure one of the camera and do it back so you can get to understand what I mean. All right. So I think understanding the PoE aspect, I've talked on that, which is the PoE carries, it carries data, carries power, and still audio. So it helps each camera to move where it wants to move. All right. So the laptop is used for the configuration and the maintenance of what your cameras. All right. So this is for the video, for the switchers. I think the basic thing is for us to do the practical, because I believe through practical you get to understand everything much better. So this is the back of your switcher. So you can see there are 4 ports of HDMI at the back and SDI. So sometimes you can be in church, and I've been in church where people don't really understand the difference between SDI and HDMI. That's why I decided to put this image here so you can see the difference. So this one's here at the HDMI cable. This one's here at the SDI cable. The SDI is just like your phone normal antenna cable that you use those days when they rotate antenna. You understand? Those cable you normally plug in. All right. So and this is the port for your Ethernet. The last port, the second to the last port there. So that's for the Ethernet. So I will be explaining with practical the IP configuration, because if I put it here and we talk about it, it will just be like action movie. You will not really understand it. So I prefer showing you through how to do the configuration. Yeah, you may not really get every single thing, but I believe you should just go through YouTube and do a research on subnets, how to arrange subnets. So the moment you get it, it will make it easier, but you can still grasp it a bit based on what I will be showing. So all right. So using your laptop, so I'll be duplicating my screen. So now on a Windows laptop, I'm using Windows to do this stuff. So on a Windows laptop, let me start first, for you to be able to configure each camera. So let's say just search for control panel. When you open your control panel, there is network and internet. So when you open it, I can't see this Ethernet part, but hold on. So go through your properties. So basically, make on your IP on your system, you have to make your the IP on your system to be on the same subnet of the IP of the cameras you want to configure. So some camera can come by default with 192.168.0.1, 100.1. So you have to make sure if the camera came with 192.168.0.1, automatically you are making your first IP should be ranging from 2 to 253 or 254, depending. So you can just choose any IP within those range. For that, let's say let's choose 20. No, so I will do the configuration for this particular one. So we are on one dot any other number. So which means I'll be changing it to one. So this subnet automatically is by the default. So the other one, this is your gateway is always one at the end. So it's going to be 192.168.1.1. So your gateway is static. It's always at one. The last number is one. So that's why I told you the range of number you can use for your laptop should be between 2 to 254. So 255 is for I've forgotten what it's for. So it's an already given out number. Your one and your 255 is already given out number. So automatically you only have the 2 to 254 to configure whatever you want to configure. So now first you put your laptop on a subnet or that particular network. So I can now connect to any camera from here. So I will go to my browser. So I already opened. Let me close out this. All right. So let me just connect to one of the camera. So just type the IP of the camera from the configuration. So the IP we have here ranging from 101 to 106. So I will choose 192.101. So 101 is the first camera. Okay. So you see I'm inside the camera interface. So now basically most camera, it depends on you to change your password, but most camera comes with the default of admin. So this is still on default. Okay, sorry, number one camera, I changed the password. Sorry, I changed the password of this number one. Sorry. Yeah, Oluwai. Okay. So sorry, I changed the password of this number one, but other ones are on 1.1. So automatically you can see the interface of the camera. So you can do a lot of things from the interface. Basically, we are talking on setting up the internet because setting up the camera. So basically, you can decide to connect to each camera by cable. Connect it from your from a laptop to each camera. But understand that since you're not connected via a PoE switch, you need to power the camera. So each camera came with their power cable. You understand? So you need to power the camera, connect to it, configure it to a certain network you feel you want to configure it on. You understand? So network. So now when I open the network aspect of this camera now, you see, don't know why it's taking time. Maybe we'll use the Holy Land. The Holy Land is 192.168. Let me use the Holy Land, please. So sorry, I'm trying to. think this cable is having an issue, so I want to. I think I added it on wireless. Let me use wireless to run it completely. All right. So I'm logging into the Holy Land. You can log into as many cameras as possible. I mean, as many cameras you want to configure, so long as they're on the same subnet, which means on that dot one. So, right. So it's still reading. Right. So to configure the network, so each camera has different interface depending on the maker of the camera. So this is the Holy Land camera. The other one I logged into was the Rockwell camera. So the Holy Land I configured it as 102. So in my head, I know this is the number 102. This from this number to this number is for this. For this number to this number is for that. Since I'm running wireless. So since I'm on wireless now, I decided to should not disconnect anymore. So sorry that yeah, that's why using cable is actually easy and good. So trying to so sorry. I didn't know that this cable is not working. Yes, not connecting to the switch. The first one by the first cable. First cable. Okay. So sorry. So sorry. So if you're connected to LAN, this issue will not be having on this issue. So I'm so sorry. The cable is giving me. Okay. So as I said earlier, every camera has its different interface. You will see on this Holy Land, the interface is a bit darker and completely different from the other one. And you just have to find a way to navigate through it. But each and every one of them are actually similar. So you see on this right part, you see the network aspects. So when I click the network, you see LAN. So on it, you can see the configurations there. So you see that the first one, you see that is 192.168.1.102. So which is the IP I typed in to be able to access the camera. You understand? So at the moment you have already configured it, then once you're on the same network with the camera, you can type in and connect to it via wireless or wired. So so basically, I can decide to change this IP now. So the moment let's just try it out. So I can just change it to 11. All right. Okay. No, no problem. I will do that now. All right. Just give me a few minutes. I will get a new camera. Please, just give me 2 minutes. This is the camera. Victor. Victor. Yes, a new one. Mm. With cable.
All right. Once you do, continue to figure out what you want to figure out. But this is the way I like us to look at it. church service is going on. I need to change the camera or something like that. This is like, I mean, this is real world. All right, so take your time. While you're asking all three,
This cable, now you no gree work. I don't know why you no gree work. Okay, you want connected to my laptop. Eh, my if it work now, everything will just stay easy. Let's switch. It's one of the camera. Let's switch it. Can we use that? No, 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 the mic is here.
excellent. How do you configure it? I think that's where his question is very, very, very important. So, thank you. And you can see Camera Joint is responding to that request. Please, can we put our hands together for them one more time? All right. So, what do you do? Um, this is me trying to save the situation. Uh, I mean, so what do you do when you find yourself in this kind of situation? Has anyone found themselves in this kind of situation? Like, event is meant to start, then the lead camera that should even show the MC that the event is live has gone off. And everybody who's supposed to be in front is now at the media cubicle, standing over your neck. What's happening now? Maybe you guys told us he's ready. Then they are buzzing. All right. So, has anybody had that kind of experience where instead of everybody worshiping God, is your cubicle they are looking at, and everybody is looking at you on side eye? Like, I thought this guy was smart. All right. So, has anybody found themselves in that situation? What is your MO when you find yourself in that kind of situation? Does anybody want to share? This guy is looking at me like, oh God, they don't offend me for my church. All right. Does anybody have an experience of a crisis situation? I'll come back to you, Michael, right? Yeah. So share with us. I mean, if it's funny, make us laugh. All right.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So it's good to be here, and I'm glad we're here. All right. So many times it happens, Sometimes you set every years, you check your cables, you check your internet, you check your cameras, everything is set. Then the moment you start live streaming, your network starts giving you issues, and everybody start looking at you. Are you guys live? They're waiting for you to share links. People are waiting. You start getting calls from every other branches. What's going on? Then before you even switch to the other network, because at some point you have to even change your IP. So before you change the IP, you change the port number. The time is gone already. At some point, you just have to switch to your phone hotspot just to get everything up. And sometimes it's keeps us going. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that. Where I want us to get to is that crisis, you can't legislate crisis. All right. And maybe this is another kind of training that we need to have. What is your mental model when you find yourself in that position? What do you default to? Because if it's someone that is very sensitive, you might, rather than focus on on determining the infrastructure, the codes, somebody could say something that could light you up, and then you can't think. And that makes you less of a, if you react, it makes you less of a professional than the technical skills that you have. And so that's very important. So does anybody want to share with us when that happens, especially when people start talking and start saying things? What do? You want to share?
All right. Good morning, everyone. So I send them. Good morning. I'm Michael. So it's nice to have everyone here. So it used to happen in church that yeah, you are set to go live, and then I'll make this. There was one time we were trying to use this HDMI what's it called? When you don't want to use cord, the HDMI transmitter. And then yes, you've balanced everything a few times like that. Even when you use cord and you are sure that it will work. And then
Okay, you mean the HDMI, SDI?
no, like HDMI to HDMI
Oh,
transmitter
okay.
instead of the receiver and the transmitter.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Even sometimes the cord when you're sure it will work and you notice maybe something is shaking in the HDMI the time you're about to go live or something, and then everybody's looking at you. Like you said, the admin comes to you. We're an excellent church. We're supposed to do this by five. We're supposed to be online since 4:45. We're
But the
supposed to do.
English usually gets
Oh
better
my
at that
God, they will have accents. They will, they will have accents. The admin is on you. Everybody is making it look like you are the cause of the problem of this shot. Like so, I've learned to over the years, over like I've learned to just be calm. Cause if you are not first calm, even you will not start making unnecessary mistakes.
Absolutely.
You'll be turning things that you're not supposed to turn in the camera. Like you just be tweaking everything. So first, you need to first be calm, and you have to. There's this thing I do. I try to make everybody calm, so even while inside me I'm not calm, but physically I'm trying to be calm. So I'm trying to make you calm too, so that you don't overpressure me. So when you tell me we're supposed to start, I just tell them, please, just give me a little bit of time. I'm on it. I'll solve it. I'll do this. All I'm trying to, because for me, most especially, I have guys in the like guys that are instrumental. I just tell them to keep doing something, and then while I try to buy time. And then you realize if you are very calm, you will easily see what is wrong and then solve it. But if you are not calm, you will add to the problem, and eventually the service that is supposed to start by 5, you start by 6 because you've added to what you are not supposed to add. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together. Who else wants to share? Some can even say, media, they don't pray with us. We prayed for this event. They will not fast, they will not pray. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So my name is Moses, and as he said, one of the things I do is just to keep calm. And I'm a kind of person that when I go for live production, I always go with alternative. So I've been in a situation where I have a switcher, and also maybe the camera is not working with the switcher, something just come up, and I use capture card just to capture one camera so that they can see the normal live feed. So it's just to calm down, look for alternative, just look for solution. There's always solution somewhere. So that's one of the things I always do.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. I think they're ready for us now. All right.
So I will be configuring this camera from the carton. So I'll be configuring it, and it's not on our network. You can see that it's here separately. So we've seen it from the screen. So all right. So first, the moment your camera is showing, the moment the cable is showing, as I said earlier, your control panel. The moment you open your control panel, go to network and internet. Go to your network sharing center. Then this is for the cable. So you can see there are two networks here, wireless and Ethernet. So before my Ethernet was not working, the cable was not working. So I have to go through the wireless aspect. So now I'm opening the Ethernet parts. So now the moment because we are connected to cable to this. So now, of course, in every carton there is the pamphlet that comes with it. So on the pamphlet, the IP of the camera will be on the pamphlet or under the camera. It's either way. So if it's not under the camera, just check the pamphlet that came with it. This camera, I think by the default is 192.168.1.118. So now, basically, first thing I'll have to do is on your version 4. So it's my IP is already on .1 already. You can see one. So then I click OK. Then just come to your browser, search for it. See, this is the new camera. It's this one here. So the password is admin. Now have access to this camera. So to be sure it's it, let's try and move around. See? So that is the camera. So now for me to put it on any network after I feel like putting it on, I'll have to go to the settings here. So as I said earlier, each camera interface is different. You understand? So even the funny thing is, this is a HD cutoff camera, and there's another HD cutoff camera, and their interface are actually not similar. You understand? So, but we know what you want. If you want to access the camera on your network, we are just looking for what network. So you can see preview and settings, which means everything we need should be under settings. So I click on settings, then the network. So when you click on network, you see the IP that you logged into. That IP that you logged into the camera, it will be the first IP you'll be seeing there. So it's the first IP, and that is the only IP you are changing. So let's say your
You mean that we can um, just with the laptop without using the controller?
yes, you can. So the thing is, with the laptop, I don't think it's that easy to control the camera. You can control it, but the movement will not really be that easy. So now, when you go to the back and you see the controller, you understand that with the joystick on the controller, you move easily, you zoom in and zoom out. So on the laptop, you just have to keep clicking here. No, no, on this. So on some camera it might, but on the HD cutoff, maybe Rockway. I've seen something on Rockway, but I've not tried it out for Rockway. You understand? You can control the camera with the laptop fully, comfortably. Just that there will be just difference based on control. So the moment you activate the AI tracking, there should be gestures for it. So once you do the gesture, it automatically start tracking the person. Yes. Okay, much better. All right. So sorry. This break in transmission is really breaking. All right. So we are currently in the interface, right? So now with this, I think should have access to your camera. So basically, the issue people have is the first thing I did. It's not the IP that is the issue. The issue people have is they are not on the same network. Their laptop is not on the same network as the camera. So you first have to configure your laptop to be on the same network as the camera before you log into the camera. Because if you try logging into the camera without going to that control panel aspects and make your laptop on the same network as the camera, it cannot not work. And if you put it on 0.1 and the camera is 1 dot something, automatically it will still not work. So they have to be on the same network for there to be a free flow for them to communicate to each other. All right. So another thing is when you get four different types of camera, like from different companies, automatically they will not be the same uh, image quality, like no, not the quality, sorry, the image view. So the color might be, the color will be different. It's not might be. So for example, your Canon and your Sony camera, they are not the same. You understand? So because they are made by different things. So when you are buying a different mix, automatically you have to come here on the image part and use the brightness and make your every camera to be the same, because if not, you'll be seeing blue, something like blue, and different colors when you are shooting your events or church gathering actually. So for the AI one, so in every camera it has in its AI aspect, and the way they move is different. So the moment you do a gesture for the AI, automatically it will pick it up. You understand? So most of them is hand up, allow it to tilt. Then you know that you've gotten access to it. Then when you do a hand like this, it zooms out and every other thing on that. So basically, my work here is to let you understand how to connect every single thing. You understand? So basically, you just want your everything to be on the same network. So I understand that on every single thing you have here, you have access to log into it. Your what's it called? Your control as well has to be on the same network as your camera for there to be a smooth move. Yeah, some camera will still see it, but either you are not able to zoom well, you're not able to tilt well, you understand? But the moment they're on the same network, so the most important thing for configuring your PTZ camera is that network aspect. Once they are all on the same subnet or on the same subnet, you have a perfect communication for every single thing. All right. So any more questions?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So my question is, as regarding network, you know, issue of lagging cannot, we can't underplay the issue of lagging when it comes to PTZ. Anything that has to go over the network. So my question now is, what can I do that? Thank you. So my question is, what kind of um, network hardware would you recommend so that it can at least reduce the lagging in terms of is it gigabits now of the PoE switch, so that you are not panning your camera to the right and it's taking like over say 10-50 seconds before it or has that been taken care of in the old configuration of the PTZ camera?
Okay. Okay. So for us, the basic thing you need is not is your switch. So every switch has its power rating. You have to understand what you are trying to power and be able to give the appropriate rating for it. So for example, you're using two switches there. So now each is 56. One is 56 and one is 55 volts. So it's the voltage that amplifies it because it's sending power and data. It's just the voltage that gives everything you need. You understand? So now it's the voltage that allows it to move the how frequent it can move. So you have to just get the appropriate. So for example, why we are using two switch, you can see that we are using 7 cameras. We are using two switches. So now when we plug everything on one switch, it's not powering all the cameras. So it can power it, but it will just keep powering like 2. So 5 works perfectly out of the 7. 5 works perfectly, but 2 is not receiving the appropriate power it needs. You understand? So which means you have to get a higher voltage switch to be able to manage it. So this kind of the kind of switch that you saw there, the bigger one, most times is around like 100 volts. You understand? So it can carry, but the kind of switch is normal 8 ports that is a bit smaller. So if you get a bigger switch, automatically, I think you should not have any lag. So if you go back and check all the cameras we have there, and you can tell them to tilt anyone, there is no lag on each and every one of them. So they are tilting easily. You understand? There can be lag if they're not on the same network on your PTZ controller. So if there is an issue with network, automatically there can be lag. Another thing is when you are configuring your controller, so for some controller, you see something like Visca TCP, Oniv, all of that. So you have to know the particular one working for the camera. Mostly the Visca TCP or the Sony Visca mostly work for every camera. So you just have to understand that. So one more question and okay, two more questions on him and him and we.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Femi. So, I want to ask regarding the camera focus, is it being operated manually or is automatic?
Okay, the focusing is automatic.
Automatic.
Yes. So Tio, can you focus on the camera like use any of the camera, maybe this, zoom into somebody and just stay on that camera, zoom into somebody and so we can see how the focusing is like. So now it's automatic, the focusing. So the moment it zooms in, it might be a bit blurry, but the moment it gets to where it's getting to, it becomes very focused. So the last question, why is
Hello, good day. Um, okay,
eh,
sorry.
no.
So, I want to ask. So, I think, can you please explain the connection between the switch and the controller? Because you said that the switch would have the same, sorry, that the controller will have the same IP with the camera. So, I'm kind of confused on that, in that regard. Like,
I said they should be on the same network as the camera, not the
the
same
same
IP.
network. Okay, good. So, um, it's kind of blurry for me though, from the switch to the controller. All right, that's just where my
Okay,
confusion is
so
coming from.
when I said they should be on the same network, I told you we have ranges from number 2 to 254 IPs. So now when I say they should be on the same network, you see that on the third state of your IP, you have 192.168. The third state is 1. So now they should be on 1. Everything should be on 1. So now the number, how you number the last part, depends on you. You have between 2 to 254 to number them. So I prefer using 101, 102, 102, 103, 104. 105. So, but on my controller, I like my laptop and my controller. Like my laptop, you check my laptop when I opened it, so it's on 13. It's on a very low. I want it to be far from the controller. There should be on 10. So, but the basic thing is they are on that the third state of your network, which is the third state of on the IP, should be the same with every single thing you are configuring. So, are you good?
But the controller has its own IP.
Yes.
Okay.
You are config as you logged into this camera to configure it
Yeah.
on the controller. You can see it on the controller. You can when you are checking on the controller, then you can configure it there.
Okay. Thank you.
You understand? One last question and then we wrap up. Thank you.
Okay, quick one. My question is on the AI tracking. So is there a way where we can customize the switcher, right? Probably to have a customized key to, when you press it, it start tracking the person,
Yes.
or you have to add gesture to it.
So each switcher are actually each controller switcher and controller are different. So each PTZ controller are different. You understand? So like the smart controller we have from the Rockwell, I think yes, it can do it. You know. And let me just still tell you, we've not really mastered that controller. The controller, if you go there, see the controller, it's a lot. So we are still working on learning every single thing on the controller. So, but it has presets where you can zoom in. Let's say you can use one camera to give 3 shots. Like for example, that camera at the back can just zoom in as your close-up shots, and then your wide shots, preset for one close-up, preset for one wide. You understand? So and then you can use a normal one to turn it around. So you can use one camera to run service like you're using 3 cameras on that controller. You understand? So for the AI tracking, I don't think it has a preset for now. I don't know. You get my point. I will not. Let me not just lie to you, but I know that the moment you activate it and say that track this person, automatically tracks that. One last question and we'll go. He raised his hand last, please. So sorry.
Sorry, I'm kind of surprised you are rounding up already. My question is, you are using one controller for like 7 cameras. I want to understand, how do you program your cameras on the controller? Because I know it's a push of button and you are switching from one camera to the other one so that I can have control on that camera. How do you do that setting?
Okay, what I did, that's why I said I numbered it 101, 102, 103, 104. So now, for there to be easy communication from me that is controlling the camera with me, like when I'm controlling the controller and the switcher. So I want my number one to be number one here, number two to be number two here. You understand? So now, what I do is on your controller, you can choose which IP is where it is. So on the controller, you can choose for the number one, 101, number two, 102, number three, 104. So then, and on your switcher, you can make it 1, 1, 2, 3. So if you are pushing camera one, pushing it this way, you're knowing on your switcher, I'm going to camera one to take it up to the screen. You understand? So now it's just based on you how you want to fix it on your controller. So as many as can enter the controller, you understand? But it depends on you to put it in the way you want it to stay. So on the 1, 2, 3, 4, just put it based on the IP you've assigned to each camera, you choose it and do it that way. So I thank you guys. If you have any more questions, I will still be at the back to receive your questions as well.
All right, please put your hands together for him one more time. Gentleness from Camerajoint. We also like to quickly announce that opportunities to have your questions answered is not over yet. All right, write down your question. We'll have a session for Q&A. But aside that, you can, after the event, go to their stand and ask any question. But want to quickly run along now. It's time to have the Canon PTZ manufacturer session, and that will be facilitated by Mr. Constantine from Canon. Put your hands together for him as he steps forward. All right, so anything that has to do with sale, product deployment, or anything of sort, you can ask them at Camerajoint. Anything specific to Canon, I believe they will catch your fancy. You can ask Mr. Constantine. He's very knowledgeable about.
Thank you so much for being a wonderful moderator. Please let's clap for him. So once again, welcome. Just say hi to the person sitting beside you. So it's good to be here. Okay. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Constantine Egebi. I manage Canon Pro Video for Nigeria and Ghana as the key account manager. I can tell you, you are in a very good hand with Camerajoint, one of our major partners in Nigeria. So quickly, I'll just walk you through about Canon. My screen is still not displaying. Okay, so in numbers, Canon, I mean, it's not new to everyone here. And it's one brand that we've invested heavily locally in Nigeria. One of the brands that has, in fact, the only brand that has a layer 3 service center in Nigeria, where we do as much as even lens calibration. And most times when we talk about Canon, I remember the first time I relocated back to Nigeria, I was saying someone I work with Canon, he said, "Oh, that printer company." So Canon aside camera, so we do printing solutions. We also make hospital equipment. In fact, Canon owns one of the biggest surveillance company called Axis that does surveillance solutions. And Canon is governed by what we call Kiyose, that is our philosophy, which means living and working together for the common good. So this shows everything we do at Canon. In fact, in the past 5 years, we've trained over 5,000 people here in Nigeria. So we are committed to developing our market and also the people. So our business is imaging. Any way you can imagine it, you can see Canon. So I've mentioned this earlier. I mean, we do cameras, broadcast lenses. I mean, Canon has one of the largest range of lenses, from BCTV lenses to compact 7 lenses, your regular RF lenses and the likes. So quickly, while we're here, so we are focused on the PTZ. So currently we have 6 models for the Canon PTZ lineup. I won't talk so much about, I mean, features and all that. I mean, PTZ is PTZ, pan, tilt, and zoom. So I'll just give you some few things why these are also have the outdoor. I mean, you can have outdoor and indoor PTZ cameras. So for a couple of years, we've been making these cameras. Let me quickly just show you why Canon. Okay, these are controllers. So we have, so today I have one of the controllers, the IP100. We're about phasing that model off. So we have the RC IP300 and the 1000. So the IP100 allows you to manage 100 cameras without an operator. So if you use the 1300, you can manage 200 cameras without an operator. And we also have a free software, a desktop application that allows you to manage 20 cameras without an operator. But the good thing about this, he talked about you needing the controller. So the good thing about the Canon option is if you choose to go with the free desktop, you can use your gamepad, your PC pad, to do your pan, tilt, and zoom. So you can connect it to your desktop and use your gamepad. So if you don't have the money to buy your controller with the Canon option. Then quickly, why Canon? So all our PTZ cameras are broadcast grade. Maybe after this event, just take a look, have a feel of our PTZ cameras. This is one of our PTZs, and there's one maybe back there also. So they are all broadcast grade PTZ cameras. So it comes with 3 years warranty, and there's ready local support and stopgap in country. We have stopgap in country to support our clients to ensure that there is no delays. And one of the amazing things about our PTZ cameras, they're like using a Canon camera, your cinema camera. They have our color stance, and they even have the Canon C-Log 3 on our PTZs. So you can even do post-color grading using the Canon PTZ. Let me give you a very good example, which the Morale show. I don't know if you watched the Morale show in Lagos. So it's on Canon PTZs. So they do grading even after the show because you can shoot on log on the Canon PTZ cameras. So you can even upload your own lookup and color profile on a PTZ camera. So these are a couple of the color pictures you can enjoy using the Canon PTZ. And outside just PTZs, we have what we call the Canon XC protocol. It's a Canon proprietary protocol. So this allows you to control Canon PTZ, Canon Cinema using the controller. So let's say you have a Canon Cinema. Let's say, for instance, you have a Canon C80 or a C50 with your PTZ. With your controller, you can control all of them. Even our ENG cameras, you can control using our XC protocol. Some of our camera models, we have 2 XDI ports. We have the 12G, we have the 3G. So if you get such kind of models, you can take 2 feed from one camera and it will give you different angles. You have one cropped and one enlarged. So it depends on your budget. So we also have, I left something out. So in our design, we ensure that our products are future-proof. What I mean future-proof is, over time, we release firmware update. For instance, one of our older models, the CRN700s, so before the end of the year, there'll be an update that will allow you to stream vertical on TikTok using the CRN700. So over time, we do
firmware update. So you don't necessarily need to buy another PTZ cameras. In fact, before the end of the year, 3 of our models you can record via SD card directly on the PTZ. So we have that future-proof approach in our design. So our CRN 350, 400, you can do crop, you can stream vertically via the PTZ cameras. So these are the protocols we support. The Canon proprietary XA protocol, your RTP, your RTSP, your NDI, HS, HS2, RTMP. I mean, these are like tech jargons you all know. But aside that, you can also do 3D protocol with Canon PTZ. That means you can do 3D rendering for augmented reality. For instance, you are doing a live production, you want to change your background. With the Canon PTZ, you can achieve that using the 3D software integrated to the Canon PTZ. So there's a whole lot you can achieve. So that's why I said they are broadcast grade. So some of our models, we also have infrared built in, such that in utter darkness, you can see people in that place. But it's not in all the models, for the high-end models. Then some of our PTZs from CRN 500, this one, you have built-in ND filter, up to 4 stops. So you can even take this out for an outdoor, like a sunny day, and you can use the built-in ND filter, just the way you do with your regular cinema cameras. So this is just to show the crop and the enlarge. I'm picking 2 feet from one PTZ camera. And also, this is very key for those who have, like, let's say you have a Sony cameras in your studio, and you are buying a Canon PTZ. We have a color matching software that within 1 minute, you can match your Canon PTZ to have the same look and feel with other brands. But this is for select models, not for every model. So this is a reference picture showing once it's applied, you can see that there's an adjustment. So within 1 minute, you can match your Canon PTZ with your regular cameras. So that's all. So if you have any question, please reach out to Camerajoint. I'm also around. Thank you so much.
Your hands together for him one more time, Mr. Constantine from Canon. I think he did a good job with marketing there. Put your hands together for him. All right. If Holy Land was not in the room, of course, some alliances may have shifted. But I think we picked up some momentum. Right now, we're going to have the practical PTZ control and operation session with Mr. Theophilus. Please put your hands together as it comes forward. He has a lot of hands-on experience with live streaming or live production. And so we trust that, we believe that, of course, for Camerajoint to bring him up here today, we stand a lot to gain from his session. All right, but please keep noting your questions. We want to bunch all the questions together so that we run through the presentations first. All right, so one more time, Mr. Theophilus, thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Let me ask a quick question. If you believe AI will take your job, let me see your hand. AI might take my job, let me see your hand. Okay. You get conscience. Okay, AI will not take my job. Some people are neither here, some people are neither. I don't know anyone. If you come, you come. Okay, so let me see. Just give me a minute. Or do I need to change my laptop? Do I need to change my laptop? Okay. So while we are connecting, you know, we're already in the world where we live in now. Technology is uh, rapidly increasing, knowledge is increasing, and before we started with why is this? Think we're good. My fault. I can send to you. Let me give you my laptop. Okay. PowerPoint. PowerPoint. Okay. Let me send it to you. My phone is there. Okay. Uh, so let's proceed. We're already talking about PTZ cameras. Back then we started with this connector, red, white, and what? This AV connector, red, white, and yellow. Yeah. And then we moved to VGA, and then from VGA we moved to what? HDMI. From HDMI we moved to what? SDI. And from SDI, some people are using what? Fiber. And now we are going wireless. So, but believe you me, some people are still using that red, white, and yellow. Some people are still using the VGA. Leave am alone. I dey work for our church. Oh. No touch am. So, but you don't have to remain. Some people will say, as far as they work for me, no touch am. But then you still have to upscale. And that's why today we're talking about PTZ cameras. What is PTZ cameras? The speakers that were here before, they've talked about the meaning of PTZ, pan, theater, and zoom. That's just the basic of PTZ cameras. Someone does not have to stand again and carry tripod and be controlling. You just have to control it remotely from inside your control room, and then nobody has to stand behind the tripod or anything. Non-dedicated operator, cable or network control, one operator, many cameras. I remember I went to a church and then I was talking to them about PTZ cameras. The the, the media director, the media director was like, okay, he liked the idea. I think we should get one. But I could see the faces of the camera operators. Should I tell what I was seeing? So nobody could stand camera again. I could just sit down for inside congregation. Because normally, if you are too many in the control room, they will tell some people to go and sit down outside. So they were like, giving this look like, don't buy the idea, don't buy the idea. So, but then we as, let me say this, if we say the outside world are evolving. When I mean the outside world, like the secular people, they are evolving with technology and stuff like that. We that we say we are taking the gospel, we should not relent or saying, PTZ is here. Because I don't know how to operate it, then it's not a welcome idea. No, you should not have that kind of mindset. If PTZ is coming, what should be your mindset? How do I plug into it, and how do I know how to control it, so that when your church or your organization gets a PTZ camera, they might be able to say, okay, this person has an idea. Okay, you come, and then you are at the forefront. Start training others, and then you become indispensable. But then if you have the mindset of no PTZ, and then somebody else knows how to control it, then they can tell you, oh, no worry, don't come today. Somebody else is there. And from today, tomorrow, next week, somebody else is taking your place. Why PTZ is changing live production? Traditionally, before, we have dedicated operators behind every cameras, tripod, cabling. Before, you have your power, you have your signal cable, and then your tripod. Then we try to make it more simplified. We put our rigging, our zooming, and our focus on our tripod and everything. But these days, if you notice, there are some of the PTZ that is just one cable, which is signal cable. And with just that signal cable, you can control your PTZ. And so it's reducing your cabling and all of that. Higher staffing costs for every service to reduce, and then operators fatigue affect framing over a long period of time. Normal tripod, if somebody is standing behind it, I think I just came back from Ghana, and then the person they gave to me to work with me, a female, she was standing as camera one, main camera, in front of the the preacher. And then it was time for praise and worship, normal high life. They were singing and they were singing. And the next thing, she raised up her hand like this. She was dancing. The main singer walked out of frame. And I was on headcom. I was telling the lady, yeah, cameraman, oh, put your hand on the camera. The sound was loud. She was not hearing me. She was still carried away. She was still dancing. I'm like, I had to tell somebody else in the control room to go and tap her and say, remember, yeah, cameraman. And then that was then she now, okay, she now adjusted, trying to reframe and shot and stuff like that. But with the PTZ, with just the person operating it there, is already focused on the interface and everything, just following. And then we also have presets as well. You save your presets. So as I am moving, you just have to press 1 or 2, and I come to this side. There's a PTZ camera facing me, captures me. I come to this side. There's another PTZ camera facing me, captures me. Or even if you don't have multiple PTZ cameras, with just 2 or 1, you already save your presets. Meaning, before service, not during service. As somebody is moving, you already save that. From this frame, this side of the frame to this side of the frame, you save it. So once you just press 2, the camera will just move slowly and then just follow the preacher as the preacher is moving. So you don't have to have operators that are fatigued as we used to have. And so, but with PTZ, we have one operator run several cameras from one desk, compact ceiling and wall mounted. There are some PTZ cameras that you may not even know that they are PTZ cameras. Like when Director Ima was using PTZ cameras for Dulce's event in Abuja, nobody knew he was using PTZ cameras until he came out on Instagram and posted that I was using PTZ cameras. So with the shots that you are seeing, you will not see any camera. You will not see anybody handling any camera because they are mounted at designated places. They can be up. Like if you look at the back, there's one camera up, upside down. You will not even know that there's any camera there because of how the PTZ camera is placed. And then we'll talk about presets. Keep every shot consistent, service after service. Where PTZ cameras are used: houses of worship, which is the church, live events and concerts, corporate and conferences, like the Moriah show that was talked about, broadcast and TV studios, higher education, outside broadcasts, and sports. Like the World Cup that just finished. Did anybody see the outline of numbers of cameras that was used? they sent out the pictures of the numbers of cameras, and PTZ was among them too. So these days, so we want to grow, and if you can be using it outside and then it's making sense, you should also be able to use it inside, and then it should also make sense. Anatomy of the PTZ camera: the pan, the tilt, and the zoom. The different types of PTZ cameras are by resolution, environment, by grade, and by form factor. We have the ones that are 4K, we have the ones that are HD, we have the ones that are indoor and outdoor. By grade, we have the consumers, your budget, and then do you want to use it for broadcast? Then by form, mini, compact, the different sizes, as the case may be. So this should also affect the kind of PTZ you want to go for. What specification actually matters? The sensor size, low light sensitivity, autofocus. Uh, there are some cameras behind that can actually have this AI tracking. So even the person operating it does not have to take the joystick and be following the preacher as it's moving. As I'm moving, the camera will just be following me as it's going. Your auto tracking, your pan, tilt, speed, as the case may be, and then your optical versus digital zoom. The hardware, there are some that are SDI, there are SDI and HDMI, and there are some that are just HDMI. So before you purchase any PTZ camera, you should first study your own connectivity. Not because a church is having an SDI and a PTZ that has SDI, you want to get a PTZ that has SDI. Meaning, if you are getting a PTZ that has SDI, you need to have a converter that will convert it to HDMI for you, or probably just change your own setup to SDI or true. These days, the modern PTZ has NDI embedded on it as well, so you just go over the network. You don't have to go through cable anymore. You need your NDI. But then before you go for NDI, meaning you need to have a good network, a stable network, because once your network drops, your picture quality will drop, and it may even disconnect. So you have to wait and have a good network. So why go the stress because you want to go wirelessly and have every time the director or the pastor will tell you, why is the screen not showing? And maybe it's not a tech or media inclined. You want to explaining, you're adding fuel to the fire. So just go with the normal one that you know that no stress. You plug and you play. They talked about the PTZ controller. This is I don't know if it's very visible. This is the Canon PTZ controller that they talked about that is already going off. But this is an example of the PTZ controller. You can pan, you tilt, you can zoom. It has an autofocus or manual focus. It gives you the ability to do whatever thing you want to do manually or automatically. You select your cameras, you move, you frame your shots, you save or record presets, you fine-tune the image. It also gives you the ability to also do your color grading or your white balancing for your cameras. And then, as earlier said, you can also use your joystick. You can use your joystick as 3 ways to control your PTZ: the hardware controller, which is what we just saw, the software or the app control, and then your switcher integration. You can use your hardware controller, your software. As the first speaker that talked, he brought out the software where you can control your movement, and then you can also use the hardware. And then there are some PTZ behind. When we go back, we'll see those PTZ. They have remote control, like your normal remote control, like this. So you can actually be anywhere, and then you go left, you go right, and then you are moving with your remote control. So I just picked some few types of PTZ cameras that we have in the room. We have the Holyland PTZ, Holyland Astra P1, That was the same PTZ that was used for doing scenes at Abuja. Yeah, 4K image quality. So let me quickly chip in this. Some people will be like, why you are here? You're already chatting your media director like, we need to get 4K PTZ cameras and stuff like that. But then, do you stream 4K in your church? So some people will like, let's get 4K, but you should also consider the other part. I should not decide for you. So a strong choice for team that already lean on Holyland wireless ecosystem would definitely go for Holyland PTZ cameras. And then we have the HD K-TOF PTZ cameras. They are also behind us. We'll also go to check them and see how they do. The HD K-TOF PTZ, it also has the ability for 4K, broadcast eye, pan and tilt. We have the different types, UH 4000, KC20 Pro, KC10, and they also work with the controller and the remote control. This HD cutoff also have the AI tracking system as well. So even if you don't have somebody that can stay in your control room from the beginning of the service to the end, you can just set it and just frame your preacher and just track your preacher. So from beginning of the service to the end, the camera will just be following the preacher until when he walks out of the shot, somebody else comes in, it will also track that same person and follow that same person. This one can also do the job. We also have Rockwell PTZ. It's also behind us. I think this is one of it. Rockwell PTZ can also do 4K auto framing, and also it has AI tracking assistance built on it. Canon PTZ ecosystem. I think my boss has already spoken about Canon extensively. They have the 100 to 700 Canon PTZ. How to choose between Canon models, okay? 100, 300, 350, 400, 500, and 700. Okay, then let me go to Camerajoint lineup. So the things that would prompt you to choosing a particular PTZ cameras for your production, you see, we have different kinds of PTZ cameras, and then full joystick control panel, the KC10 compact PTZ controller, ROK70 professional PTZ control console. They can actually work with your video mixer or your video switchers. So if you are using OC Stream, if you are using Atem, if you are using what's the other video mixer again? AV Matrix, all of these can also work with your PTZ cameras. And all of these are the features under each of the PTZ cameras. I think a barcode, a QR code will be displayed for you to be able to access all the different cameras that are under Camerajoint's website. And then I just had to draft this one for a small or a typical church settings. So we can have Cam 1, wide or the stage shot, Cam 2, the speaker close-up shot, and then Cam 3 for congregation and your choir. So if you're having like just 3 cameras, one can be for the main speaker, and then one can be for your congregation, and then one can just be working for the wide shot and maybe for singers. With just 3 PTZ cameras, you've covered everywhere. And you can also even have 2. The same one for the close-up shot can zoom out and give your wide shot, and then one can be for your congregation. It can be somewhere for the congregation and also pan for the musical instrument and stuff like that. So with 2, you can actually stream whatever you want to stream in your church. And then your PTZ cameras goes to your controller or your video switcher, Then from there to the program ads, and then you live stream to your different social media platforms, and then to probably you're having iMac in your church. That's to your different screens, and then your local recording with just your 3 PTZ cameras. And then when buying PTZ cameras, there are some things you have to take note of. The first one, optical zoom range matches your venue throw distance. There are some of the PTZ cameras that have optical zoom. There are some that does not have. So you need to actually check if they have those optical zoom that can work well in your church or the hall you want to use it for. If it can actually go far or it cannot go far. Your output type, if it matches your switcher. Yeah, remember I said there are some that have HDMI, there are some that have SDI, and there are some that are NDI. So you need to know the reason why you are going for it, if it will actually match your video switcher. And then low light performance. There are some PTZ that can actually work with low light in a low light setting. There are some that will not work in a low light setting. If because you want to get PTZ, you decide to go for the one that cannot work with low light, after they buy it with that kind of amount of money, and then you come to church on Sunday, pastor is not seeing himself on the screen. I just wait behind after the service. Then you could also check if it can do autofocus. Autofocus hooked up on a moving presenter, not just on a static test. So you need to check if the PTZ you are going for has autofocus, if you can control the protocol, if it's compatible with your switcher, and then if they have warranty tests, like what Canon said it has. You mentioned how many years warranty? 3 years warranty. So you have to check all of those ones. And then if and local support are confirmed before purchase. Also check your budget before mount, your cabling, powering, and not just the camera alone. So this one mistakes many people make. They will only budget buying the PTZ camera. And when you buy the PTZ camera, you maybe, for example, there are some churches that will just go to maybe the account department or to your pastor and say, the PTZ camera is maybe 550K or 600K, and then they will tell the pastor, we need PTZ camera of 600,000 naira. The pastor says, hey, really? Can you get PTZ for 600K? Yes. They count the money for you. They pay to your account. You buy the camera. You don't know how to mount it. You did not buy the cable. You did not buy your network switch. How will you be able to go back to the pastor and say, Pastor, we need to buy cable. We need to buy network switch. The pastor will say, but you said the PTZ is how much? 600K. Meaning he did not include the budget for mounting, for cabling, the power into it. And even if you call somebody to come and mount it for you, you will pay the person. So include that one inside your purchasing, the money you want to use to buy all of this. And then your buying checklist again should also check your controller or switcher integration is planned before camera arrives. Not that the camera will now come. You'll now be thinking, will this our switcher work with this camera or will it not work? No, do all of those ones before buying your PTZ cameras. And then some PTZ mistakes. Mounting the camera too far away from its optical zoom range. So before you guys came in, we've mounted the cameras. We've checked the one that can be from afar, that will get my face. We've checked the one that can be behind and can get your face. That even if these lights are entering, you can also see. We've checked with this one can actually get my face, even with all these lights entering the camera. So you have to check all of those ones before mounting your camera so as not to have mistakes during live production. They'll say it's not on the battlefield you test your gun. You test it before service. Another one, ignoring the low light rating, then struggling in evening services. You forget the low light. You will now be talking to the person that is controlling the light. Push up, push up. Whereas you are the one that went to use the PTZ camera that cannot work under low light. So you need to also check that one. Skipping presets and reframing every shot manually. Skipping presets. And some people don't know how to work smart. They want to work hard. So for beginning of the Sunday service, maybe you have how many service? First service, second service. and you want to always show that you are working. So you want to be present from the first service to the end service. So from the first service, your hand is here like this. You're moving, you're moving, you're moving. You don't want to use presets. You don't want to work smart. But if you have presets, with presets, you can actually just be clicking 1, 2, 3, 4. As you are clicking it, the camera is following and tracking whoever you want it to follow. And then another mistake is running HDMI cable well beyond its reliable signal strength. You know, HDMI cables, they have a duration they can go, unlike SDI cables. SDI cables can go, but HDMI cable has a limit it can also go. And then if you're using fiber, good for you, can go a long way. So, but most people will say, their all is big, and they go for one HDMI, one PTZ camera. And that one PTZ camera, they want it to do the work of 3. So they'll put the PTZ camera far back and then use a long HDMI. So as you are zooming in, the quality is dropping. And then you will now call Camerajoint that the PTZ you sold to me is not good though, whereas you are the one that is using long HDMI that will drop after some meters. Another PTZ mistake is pairing the camera and controller or mismatch control protocol. I'm so happy that we talked about IP and stuff like that. So because one of the challenge of PTZ is this IP configuration. Many people do not know how to configure IP. They will just feel like plug and play. And there are some people, God will forgive them, in our churches, they have the idea of configuring IPs and stuff like that. And then if there's an argument among the media people, okay, shebi now let me sabi control. We just do it. And then when they are leaving, disconnect everything. When they disconnect everything, when you come, they do organa, you come, control, you cannot connect the IP again. You have to now call that person, say, Alpha. So, but then pairing a controller and a camera or mismatching control protocols. Another mistake is leaving exposure and white balance on auto and changing light. Some people want to now work smart. They'll now put the camera on auto. And then you have those moving head lights and stuff like that. As the moving heads are changing, your camera is trying to autofocus or auto white balance. Before you auto white balance red, your light has moved to green. Before you want to auto white balance green, you are moving to yellow. Your picture will not be good. Another one is no backup plan if main drop midstream. So some churches that are buoyant enough, we go for PTZ. At the same time, we also have one normal camera. So in case they are not able to quickly do the IP address for camera or something comes up, they can actually fall back to your normal camera. So you should also put all of this into consideration. And then buying the camera before planning the switcher or controller, which is a mistake. When trying to get the PTZ camera, also know what kind of switcher you should also get, or the one you already have, and which kind of PTZ camera will work with your switcher. Final takeaway, PTZ will not replace the crew, it will multiply them. So some people, I think I remember I went to a church, they got 2 Sony PTZ cameras, like 2 good Sony PTZ cameras. They got it last year, but till date, they've not used it. Why? The camera operators are fighting that they will not use it, because if they use it, that 2 spot of that 2 cameraman is gone, and the cameraman, no job. So they are fighting. Just imagine your pastor order 2 PTZ cameras from US, and then it's still inside carton. The only day they open it was the day they brought it to check if everything is inside. Just open and check, okay, and then test, and then they are okay. Oh yeah, put on. They covered it back just because they are afraid. So, but we should not be afraid, because PTZ does not come to replace the crew. It will limit it though, but it will give us the opportunity to broaden our knowledge, go learn it. And when you learn it, you become indispensable, because your church or your organization will definitely need you. Because most shows now are going into PTZ cameras. They no longer want to see somebody standing behind camera that the other camera will want to capture it. They are trying to avoid showing cameramen, and so they are going for PTZ. And so if you increase your knowledge and study PTZ, learn more about PTZ, watch YouTube videos, definitely somebody will want to refer you or want to need your service for PTZ cameras. So PTZ is not replacing us, it multiplies them. A small well-trained team with the right cameras, controller, or workflow can now deliver the coverage of a production flow twice its size. I remember I went for a show and the people, we were just three. The person streaming, the person controlling the PTZ, and then one person, the technical person, just trying to see if cable is plugged, this and that. And we're using up to, was it not 12 cameras, just 3 people. Then the audio, we have the audio people, but just for the video, we just just 3. And then you'll be wondering, where are the cameras placed? Where are the cameras placed? You won't see any cameras because we are using PTZ and they are just hidden with no cameraman. So if you have PTZ cameras with just few persons, you can actually control full production and everything will go smoothly. Start with the room. You pick zoom, low lights, and mount for your actual space. You plan control first, decide your controller and switcher before buying cameras, like I've said, and then train the presets. Consistency comes from rehearsed shots, not live guessing. So I know by God's grace, you are definitely going to get PTZ. So you don't start learning on the Sunday service when the preacher is preaching and then you want to test the camera. You wait behind after service. So you test your cameras on a Saturday when you can even come when there's no service or when nothing is going on and then there's light. You test everything you've watched on YouTube, everything you've heard from shows, talk shows like this, seminars like this. You practice them, and then on Sundays or on the main events, you now work with them. Thank you for listening. Do we need to go to question and answer, or we just go straight to the good part?
Please put your hands together for him. One more time. All right, please, again, put your hands together for him. All right, so I think we've had so much talk here. It's time to really demonstrate how these technologies can make our lives better. But I just kept wondering when he was saying things like some camera people will be praying that they don't adopt the technology. Why? Why? Does anybody know? Maybe we are in church to listen to the word of God and pray. Some guys are show off. That's why. You see them right in front of us, they're impressing girls. What's the matter? Come to church, pray. Do you know those boys? You know, we've been there before. You'll be trying to take impossible shots inside service, like lie down, or when you go and pray. You have your future in front of you, right? So let's adopt. Let's adopt. How many people believe that we should adopt? All right. Yeah. Okay. So good. It's time for Q&A. And so I'm going to call Gentleness to come forward right now. So what we want to do is that since all the cameras are set up, I think different kinds. This is Canon, and then I'm not sure which brand this is, but Canon too. You're better than me. So, all right, thanks. So he will come forward. Any questions you have from sale to the technologies, the options, the settings, and whatever it is, you're going to ask the question. Mr. Theophilus is on the console, all right? So If it requires explanation, Theophilus is going to do it. Sorry, Gentleness is going to take care of that. If it requires demonstration, we will see him on the console because there's a camera above his head, and we will just demonstrate whatever needs to be done. All right, do we like that? All right, great. Please put your hands together again for Gentleness.
Thank you, everybody. So before we take questions, I just want to talk about some issues we've actually encountered, like for our setups today. So I think one of the issues we encountered was bringing in a Canon camera, actually. So first was, the password was hard to get into, but finally worked the way around it. And when we plugged it into our switcher, it was not showing. And everything was plugged perfectly fine. And like my head won't blow. So, but we didn't know it was on 4K. So you have to understand the kind of switcher you are working with. You understand? Some switcher mostly work with 1080p. So you have to reduce the camera to it as well. So when you are configuring your PTZ camera on your controllers, so some controller doesn't take the frame rates. So most of them work with 30 frame rate, not 60. But by default, most cameras come with 60. So you have to know those things and work on it to be able to match what you have already. So I believe setting up, there is a lot of issues you have. It's normal. You understand? At least today, you see a lot of issues I had today. So it's normal. But the thing there is to learn from the mistakes or learn from the issues and keep getting better. So your questions. Hold on.
Okay, in media production, we have other accessories that help us to carry our camera to make it stable. Something like crane, track, and rope cam. So is it possible to mount PTZ on them and still work very well? Because what I observe now, you just position in one angle and pick shot from that angle. If I have to move around or every other thing, it can't do that. Is there any possible way we can do it with either crane, rope cam, or track and dolly?
So basically, I believe, so when you check the PTZ camera, the carton, so it has like a mount on maybe on a crane or that kind of thing. So basically, when you are moving with a crane or it's just moving this way, that way, headshot and all those things. So this PTZ camera can be mounted on top. Actually, we plan mounting one up, but due to it's not our, so we have to find a way to make things faster. So normally, once you mount your PTZ on top, I think you can get your clean shots already. So and it moves this way back. So there is one we mounted at the back. The camera we mounted at the back. Camera we mounted at the back. You can see it will show the full shot, the full. So you can see. So now, and it can give you that kind of shot you want. But the moment it's on top, it gives you a different view. So yes, you can mount it on top and move to see any different camera view.
For the crane, I don't think it's going to do justice because what I've seen from this PTZ is only has 2 axis gimbal, not 3. So when people that know about drone and gimbal know camera, they have 2 axis gimbal. You can move left, right, pan anyhow. So, but for this now, if you are trying to move it around, I'm not sure the PTZ can do that, unless it's going to be auto tracking.
No. So it does 360 ton.
Number 6. You can actually use it for crane. There's a mount you need to have, like an L stand. It comes with the PTZ, and then you put it on your what's it called now? Your crane edge, and then you connect. There's a connector you also need. Something like this, but it depends on the size of your PTZ camera. So if you're using a bigger PTZ camera, there's a bigger one that will come with your PTZ camera. So you can also mount on your crane stand head. You understand now? And then you now put your connectors. There's a connector you put so that you don't have to come to the PTZ to be doing your pan and your teeth. Everything will be done remotely. Thank you.
Next question.
Any other question?
All right. So, for example, most people already have their mirrorless cameras, their DSL cameras, and now with all these explanations that you've been making since morning, you want us to advance to PTZ cameras. So now we would not want to just let go of those cameras, right? We still want to make use of them at some point. So is there a way to use both the PTZs and the DSL and mirrorless cameras together with switchers and controllers?
Okay, so for the controllers, it's for the PTZ camera. So, but you already have your switcher and you know how to bring your camera into your switchers. So I believe you normally in some churches, they merge two cameras. But that is a more life on nothing. We talk more on that.
Okay, so let me answer that. Yes, it can work. The PTZ usually will give you angles that your normal camera, like your DSLR, if you want to get the range, the zoom range that you're getting on the PTZ on your DSLR, you know how much you need to invest on the lenses. You need to look at like 400 to 600 lenses. But with PTZ, you can get that. Now, for the integration of your DSLR to your PCZ workflow, your video mixers will do that. Your HDMI or your SDI, depending on the camera you're using, runs directly into your video mixer, or like the one we have here, right? This particular one is OC Go Stream, and it has HDMI input and SDI input. So you integrate them into this mixer. Also, if you look at the back, you see that all your PTZ controls and connections, they go directly inside it. So you'll be able to use that. Yeah, that's simply how it works. I hope that answers your question.
Any other question?
Yeah, good morning. I just want to ask about the distance, the range. So, one of the issues sometimes you might have with live production is when you go to a certain range, either it starts dropping. Why are so many cameras on me? Either it starts dropping quality or you have break since it's using a network. So, is there a recommendation for the type of cable to use, or can you use two switchers? Maybe if it's like 150 meters apart, can you use one switch to, break the signal, then another one to now get to where you want it to go?
All right, a standard network cable is meant to run 100 meters, standard connection. Then you can add another switch, continue to run another 100 cable. That's the standard way of cable connection. You understand? So with that, I think it will work fine. Although some points it might get up to 150 though, but basically standard cable distance is 100 meters.
Let me just add something. So, added to his question, right? So we have this system in our setup where we control the using the remote control panel, right, to control the exposure and the rest of it. So now, thank you so much. So now, can the exposure, as you look at it now, so some shots there are burning really. So, how do we have a remote system for that?
Okay, so can we set exposure on that camera so you can see what is possible? I think the camera on him now. Gentleness, you might have to move away a bit. Okay, yeah. So to that camera. So let's just demonstrate on setting exposure and what is possible.
Balance and the rest. Okay, so the exposure of the cameras, the PTZ cameras with your controller, you can set the exposures, right? Individually. So as you can see, the exposure, the white balance, and then you have this gain, shutters, and all of that. So you can set them individually on your PTZ camera. So you can see the settings that, and this is like white balance. So all of that you can set them to match each other. So if you have like 5 cameras, you can set the exposures to match, right, and the white balance to match one another. So yeah.
To add to that, so I think when you log into the interface, I think I talked about it when I was saying when you log into the interface. So as I said, there are all different color of cameras. So you just have to work on each and one of them to match what you want. You understand? So once you do it on log into each camera, it will give you like it will get the perfect this thing you want. So actually, when we set up, we just most of the camera we brought up just new bring out and then we just set up immediately. So we didn't try to focus on anything.
Any more questions? All right.
So some video switchers do have this joystick like a AV matrix. Yeah, I know. So does it mean that I can control the PTZ with a AV matrix video switcher?
No. So every PTZ, like there's a PTZ controller. So your every
Because
matrix,
the video switcher has the PTZ controller written on it.
so for every matrix, okay, hold on.
Okay, so let me quickly answer that, right? So I have a controller here. This is HD cutoff, right? And I'm going to use it to explain the AV matrix. Now, most controllers, you see that they have a PTZ. Most video mixers have PTZ controllers. Yes, so they have this. This is the PTZ. You know that this controls your PTZ, right? Now, but then if you look at it from other side, you see that this is a video mixer, and this video mixer can take up to like 4, actually, like either SDI or your HDMI. So with this, you can control, switch the videos and also control the PTZ cameras. That means this guy comes handy. If you don't have a PTZ camera, this works solely as a switcher. But if you have a PTZ camera and it's connected to this, you can equally switch it. Yeah. So with that, your AV matrix, it has it. Then OC Go Stream, the Duet 8 ISO, I think Duet 12 also has it. Either the Duet 8 also has the PTZ and so many other this thing. I think there's a Black Magic control switcher that has like a PTZ control also. You can use them on that. You don't necessarily need a separate controller to use them. Yeah. But you know that in everything there's a con and there's a pro. So you have to weigh it. For me, if you're doing if you have the budget, get separate controller so that because to minimize mistake. If one person is here, the burden will be on one person to switch and mix, right, and control. But if you have both, one person focus on switching, while the other person focus on, yeah. I hope, okay.
So to buttress what he said earlier, no, there are situations whereby maybe change of lights and the color and all those things. So is there a way we can automatically maybe press a button, it changes the white balance and all those things? Yeah.
So actually, we would like to have another. Okay, from here, let me show you. From here, you see something like white balance. You see something like exposure and focus. Now, somebody asked something about focus earlier, whether it's auto or manual. Yes, we have auto focus. Then we have manual focus. Now, this is how it works. In autofocus, once you press it, autofocus, this is it. On other ones, it might be different. So once you press this, if the camera is moving towards a subject, it will focus on that subject. But when you want to, let's say the camera is moving, there's a closer subject here, and you want to focus on that, manually. So this is either far or near. So you understand? You toggle this thing, you turn it on to focus, far or near. So that's on focus. Now for the exposure,
There's auto exposure, there's manual exposure. Likewise, your professional cameras. You understand? So you have that also. The same thing applies to white balance. Most of us professionals that are shooting our cinema videos, we still shoot on auto white balance. Come on, don't boo me. We still do that, brother. If you don't do it, there are a lot of us here that do that. Yeah, you understand? Because we don't want to enter a room and be thinking, what's the white balance? So most times, what you do is first of all use the manual white balance, and then get the value, and then toggle your use your auto, get the value, and then toggle your manual, right? So, but you have the option for auto white balance, then you have the option for manual to tune it the way you want. So, in fact, when you do auto on, let's say you have different brand of PTZ cameras, and then you do auto, and you see that there's a difference, right? You can use your manual and toggle them until you get the one you want. Yeah.
I observe one thing about the PTZ camera. They don't have constant aperture. The f-stop is not constant. So it is either 3 point something to 4 point something. While our professional camera, we have lenses that has constant aperture where we zoom in and zoom out. We want to maintain our depth, want to maintain our light.
Yeah.
So is there any PTZ people have upgraded the aperture to be constant so that when we zoom in, it doesn't change the light or the depth?
They're actually constant, like the Holy Land Astra P1. There's a constant aperture on that particular one. I don't have it offhand. Maybe when my section comes up, I'll be able to give you that value, right? So, and yeah, they are constant. And then there's something they call iris in the controller that we are using. Iris, you can use it to maybe open up, just like open up more exposure, but yeah. Yeah, there is on the Astra that I know of the Astra, but I can't tell you that.
All right, thank you. So we've heard so much today, and I just want this as maybe my immediate take-home action. If a church is about to start adopting PTZ cameras, what exactly do you need to start? What are the things? Because it was mentioned earlier that it's not just the camera. So what are the essentials that you need to start? Maybe start however small or however big. And also my second question, maybe I say this so you can. What is the application for somebody into filmmaking? Because I think I heard it earlier that not all PTZ cameras can record directly. I don't know. So how do you record if you get to, yes?
Just see. So the Constantine for Canon, he stated it. There are grades to PTZ cameras. There is broadcast grade PTZ cameras, right? How many of us watch Big Brother Niger? And you be wondering, where are the cameras in the room? And you just see cameras following them. Those are PTZ cameras being operated in a different room. You understand? They have control in a different room while the action is happening in a different room. And you see someone walk out of a door, go into the garden, there's already a camera there in the garden. Now, PTZs are best deployed for live events, church conferences, but there are ways you can use them for films, but I don't know if there's any film that have been shot on PTZ yet. You understand? But for conferences, sports, PTZ can be deployed for sports. You understand? Very well, sports. Now, yeah, broadcast, sports, and all of that. Now, the thing is, the person that is on this console, the person managing the PTZ, need to know his onion. And it starts by learning. You have to first of all start acquiring the knowledge. You can become an expert in PTZ control. You understand? So let me not go deep. Let me answer what are the things you need to start deploy PTZ in your church or your live stream event? Number one, you need a PTZ camera, right? You need a PTZ camera, at least one PTZ camera, and then you need a controller. If you have more than one PTZ camera, I would say get a controller, right? But if you have one, a controller works very well. But let's be honest, if your budget is not up to a controller, you can use the remote. There's a remote that comes with most of the PTZ cameras here, but you get a smooth footage, right? You get the full, you'll be able to explore the full capability of the PTZ with a controller. So yeah, so and then HDMI, your cables, then let's assume you already have a capture card or a video mixer in you want to integrate it into the existing, you already have a video mixer and that works. But if you don't have a video mixer, your capture card. So when I come, I'm going to show you some capture cards that can work. If you have 4, it works very well. But yeah, so we'll take more questions later.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so please put your hands together for them. All right, I think there's a contribution from Theophilus.
Okay. Concerning the aperture you talked about, the Canon PTZ and Holyland PTZ can actually do that when you are on manual mode. But if you're on automatic mode, meaning it takes full control. But for manual mode, the Holyland and Canon can actually do that, which you want to do. Then to also save time for the other cameras, I think on the software, you can, if you are good with those people that are good with color temperature, once you want to start your service, you can just set the color temperature for all the cameras. If you have 5400 or 5300, set temperature. So as the time goes on, if the weather is warm or hot, you can just come back again on your setting and just change your color temperature and everything looks smooth. Then in respect to presets, to work smart, let me just give you an example. Like if you look at this camera on the screen now, is on presets. You see the person playing the keyboard is there. Now, if I just come to my controller here, if I click on, how do I do it now? I want to move it and then, okay, I'll click on, let me zoom in my 6. If you notice, there are some numbers there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are where you can save the presets. So you can save presets there. So you don't have to follow the person as from beginning to the end of the message or as the program goes on. So you can just click on 2. This is quick call. So you are recalling that preset. So if I click on 2 and I click, the movement of that particular camera is going to switch. So now I'm on 3, I'm still on the keyboard. Now I want to quickly move to the person playing the drums. Let me press. You see now, I don't have to follow from beginning of the end to the beginning of the message to the end to follow the person that I want to follow. So I can quickly just save my preset and just click. And then I go. So if I'm having 5 storage where I can save presets, I can quickly, before the pastor or any other person comes in, I can quickly just tell one of the media person to be on the stage, and then I can just follow, save all the presets that I need to save. And then on the live program, I just have to be clicking my button, 2, record, 3, record, and it's just jumping wherever I want it to go. So that will save us.
All right, thank you very much. I have a question though. I noticed that at some point it will go grayscale and then flip back. Did anybody notice that? Is there a reason for that?
Is the cable, is the HDMI cable from that particular
Okay.
camera, yeah. But everything is, if you are watching online, because we are online, if you are watching online, everything is colored.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it possible? It would be really nice to have a particular service designed as grayscale. Is that possible?
It's possible. It's
Okay.
also your color temperature and all of that can work. It's your saturation. You can work on that with the software on that
Okay.
particular color.
All right. Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for the technical team. All right, now, the next session will be exhibition. So where we are right now, cameras have been set on the Camerajoint stand. And so Victor will now show us all the different kind of options and accessories that we need for these PTZ cameras, the brands, the accessories, the setup, and all the items that they have in store. All right, over to you.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. By the way, I think I'll come there first, then later when we are done, if you want to see what we have on the desk, then you could come. So let me take one of two.
All right, how about just show us first,
Okay,
and then you everything there,
okay.
their names, what they do, and all of that. The cameras are already on.
Okay,
You
the
can put
camera's
to the
already
back,
on me, so you can
and then
see.
just give us a general sense of what you have there.
Yeah. So what we have here is a complete church live streaming, or what can help you as a church to work on your production, your video production, from the very affordable option to the ones that actually can, give you a better production, So now from here, we have the PTZ cameras, we have the Rockwell, we have the Rockwell also HD cutoff, and you can see we have the Holy Land Astra, we have the Canon PTZ cameras, that's like broadcast standard PTZ cameras. And from here, we have controllers. We have controllers from small controllers that can give you like 4 inputs or 4 camera inputs to like the ones that can give you up to seven. Okay, yeah, this one can give you up to like 7 camera control. Then we have also this particular one. This is the one that they are using currently for this production. Now, this one that I have here is the one I came to the front earlier, which can work as a video mixer as well as a controller, right? Now, these are very important gadgets. We have already established the fact that for you to have a good connection, you have to have your PTZ camera connected to a PoE. Then I have a small PoE box here, power over Ethernet. In case you're asking what's the meaning of PoE, is power over Ethernet, right? The PoE box is where, okay, let me see. Yeah, this is it. The PoE box, this one is small. Then I have a kind of a bigger one here, is what supplies power and data to your PTZ camera and supply those data directly, onto your controller as well. So from the PoE box, you connect your PTZ camera. You can see on all the PTZ cameras that are around here, you can look at them very well. There are 2 cables that are going inside them. One is Ethernet cable that is coming from the PoE box, and the second one is either your HDMI or your SDI. That one is what you connect directly to your video mixer. So those are the things you need. Now, on my desk also, I have, this is the Live Gear video capture card. Now, I was telling someone earlier about this video capture card outside. Now, this video capture card can take in up to 4 HDMI inputs. As you can see, it's small. Look at it. Very small. Yeah. It can take in up to 4 HDMI inputs. And then when you go to your streaming platform, let's say your OBS or your vMix, you are going to see the individual cameras inside them one after the other. Like, it's not that the the capture card will merge all the cameras. No, it will give you 4 cameras. For instance, if I plug 4 cameras here, if I go to OBS, I'm going to see the individual cameras at V1, V2, V3, up to V4. Now, this one does the same thing, but this has SDI input. So those of you that are looking for capture card that can get your cameras all, in one, this is what you have. And then also the sponsors of this, or the partners of this event is also YOLO Life. So you can see from here, we have YOLO Life. This particular YOLO Life Ultra, and I have the Extreme here, which is a holistic. I don't know whether that English is accurate for this my explanation, but you guys will understand as I go on. Now, this is like an all-in-one. I think that's the word actually I was looking for. Console for your live stream. Now, this box, this gadget that I'm holding, where am I showing it? Okay, this gadget that I'm holding, when I go to events, all I need to do is to just run my camera inputs here, just put my cameras here, put the internet here. You can connect your USB for other media files that you want to put in, and then just stream directly. You can connect your audio, stream directly to any platform you want to stream with this guy. So when you have your live stream, especially those of you that are into conferences and live streaming events, once you take this guy, put it on your table, connect all your cameras to it, you stream directly, to any platform, and you can stream 4K. You can stream any quality you want. This is the bigger version of it, which can take up to 8 inputs, 4K, 1080p inputs, and all of that. So this is the HD. So sorry, this is the yellow life. Now, if you look at this place, go wide. So let me show you. Okay, yeah. Look at this guy. This is the Sony Handycam. Now, most people look at these handycams and be like, we need something very like something very affordable that can give us a production, like a quality production in our live stream. This is one of it. Now, this camera is highly underrated, and I'm going to show you why. So how do I get this screen? So I need this screen to show. Okay, so look at this screen right here. This is the camera this camera is connected to this screen. This is my, exactly. This is my YOLO Live. So this camera is connected to this screen, and you can see how far, yeah, see my hand. You can see how far the stage is there. Now I will try and zoom, to the stage from here. It is this tiny camera that I showed you that is doing that. This is it. It's still zooming to the stage from here. Can you see? So I have zoomed to the stage, and it's even showing me the foot of this guy from the stage. So this is how far this camera can go. And this camera, you have HDMI out. You can also connect it, power it, plug the, what is it called, the power cable, so that you'll be able to use it for your production. So these are the things that I have. And if you come to this side of the spectrum, where they are streaming actually, there is a controller. The OC controllers, yes, is what they are using. And the one we have here is kind of an all-in-one GoStream, OC GoStream controller that has the SDI and the HDMI. You understand? So here now you can see there is a screen here. So once you open this box, yeah, this is the screen. You are able to see everything. All the cameras are connected into this. You don't need an extra gadget, extra device for your. So 8 channel. Okay, yes, this is 8 channel. And then we have other ones, so maybe when we get talking after this, I can show you even more. So we have other ones. So this can take in up to 8 inputs, either 4 SDI and 4 HDMI. So yeah, I think that's everything I have to tell you. So your questions will come later. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you want. All right. So I think to just round this off, I'll ask him to come forward. If you have any backup questions or any follow-up questions, we can deal with them now. So he will just bring forward a few gadgets and there you go.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Any questions? Okay.
Yeah. Hello everybody. My name is Miracle. I want to ask how intuitive are the camera in the sense that we mentioned about the recall. So if I put another brand of camera, will the recall still work? Do you understand my question? So Okay,
You
wants
mean
to
if it's the
answer my
controller?
yeah, yes, using with the controller.
Yeah. It's universal. The controllers are universal, so they can work.
Going forward.
Yeah, it can work. So because yeah, currently we are using three brands of cameras.
Four.
Four. Canon,
Canon, HD
Holyland,
cutoff,
HD cutoff, and
and
Rockwell.
Rockwell.
So once, yeah, once you can control it, you can save your presets.
Yeah, so that answers. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So we have this in our church, and we are using OBS board.
Okay.
And we had two of the OBS
OBS
boards.
board.
One has tracking, and the other one doesn't have tracking. So, but he was talking about this subnetting and every other thing, IP address. We don't do that. We just connect it using internet cable.
Internet cable.
So, do you think in the future we're going to have any issue, or that is actually enough for
The OBS bots should have IP. Do you understand? So, do you want to answer that? Okay.
Thank God for somebody in your media team. They've already done the IP for you. So you did not see it. So they've already done the IP connectivity for you. So yours is just to plug and play. So like now we've done the setting for this place. If we come another day, we don't have to start doing IP for any other thing because it's already saved in the controller and stuff like that. So for you, someone else has done it for you. So when you just come to church, you don't have to do IP connectivity and stuff. So somebody did it for you. Even if you are using OBS or vMix, someone has done it.
Find that person and send him a seed.
Okay, so
All
there's
right.
a
Who
question at the
next?
back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. My name is Mark. I came a little bit late, so please just forgive me if I'm asking a question someone has already asked before. Does these cameras, do they have like internal stabilization? Because most of my work is usually shows and concerts, right?
Yeah.
And I've always been thinking of integrating these type of things in tight spaces, tight corners. But when you're in big shows, vibrations can destroy you.
Destroy a lot of things.
So in fact, big shows, concerts and everything, yes, the sound can actually destroy you. So I want to ask, do they have like internal stabilization or anything of that sort that can help us to solve that as a future proof, maybe?
Theophilus, you want to, or we'll bring up Constantine?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do. I don't know if there was time. There are some videos that we could play where they use them for shows online, overseas and the likes. Once you have it stable and someone does not intentionally go and tamper with it, even with vibrations, and you're using so to be very logical, for shows you can't just use like a monopod. So you use a heavy duty tripod for it, it will stay. Even with sound vibrations and stuff, it will stay.
I mean, there are samples online as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because I understand what he's saying. Sometimes you want to put the cameras in places that are connected to the building. And sometimes when you hear high sounds, the lower frequencies even you can feel it.
Okay. You can use heavy duty tripod. You can use C-stand for it too, and then you can place it. But for the longest of time I've been using it, they withstand noise vibration if anyone does not intentionally goes there to. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So I would like to know what is the durability in terms of mounting and unmounting, maybe every time. How durable is it?
How durable it is. So I used to have this a way of narrating it. You know that Because these PTZ cameras, since we kept it here, no hand has actually touched it. You understand? Compare it to your normal camera that there's always someone, touching it at all times. So for that reason, except, you go smash it. You understand? The frequent rotation of the distance. So first of all, you've got from Canon, like Canon has 3 years warranty, right? So if there is anything that happens within that, it is accounted for. And the 3 years doesn't mean that something will happen within the 3 years. You understand? It's just to give you a kind of assurance. You understand that if there's anything that comes up within the 3 years, it's accounted for and taken care of. You understand? And you can always get from, we are here. So if you've gotten something from Camerajoint, I think thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
I want to ask my own question. I want to ask, how long can it record? And hope it doesn't overheat when it stands for an event that is more than 24 hours. Some cameras, when you're using it and you record it for some of them 4 hour, 5 hour, you start seeing temperature on it and it will go off. So what is the time at which it can record for long and the heat?
Okay.
Okay. Let me answer. The cameras, they have air outlet spaces where hot air can come out. And thank God they don't use batteries. So it's just with your Ethernet cable, it powers. So 40 mama cores. The recording time. You are recording to your system. So until your system gets feed. So that's it.
They have, I think it's recording side. I think you mentioned the thing for Canon.
We also need to bear in mind that PTZs are not the Messiah. Eventually, I mean, they're just an option in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And so, yes, grand things are being said about them, but you know that nothing can beat Jesus Christ. All right, He's your final Lord and Savior. All right, so you get the balance.
Good afternoon. I'm a bit confused, you understand? In our own church now, we are using video mixer, and we have our normal camera that will impute to the video mixer.
Yeah.
Now we are planning to get a PTZ, and getting the PTZ now, we'll get a controller. Are we going to disregard the video mixer, or how are we going to connect both the video mixer and the
And the
PTZ with our
PTZ.
normal camera we are using?
So you already have a controller for your normal cameras, right?
No, the video mixer.
You already have a video mixer for your normal camera. So if you look at this PTZ camera, there are 2 cables coming from it. One is supplying the power and the data. So for your movement, so this one is connected to your controller. It's connected to PoE bus, which your controller is connected to as well. You understand? Why this one is your either HDMI or SDI that goes into your video mixer. So you don't need a separate video mixer. All you need is the PTZ and a controller. Then the HDMI goes into your video mixer. So which you integrate with your other. Yes, so the RJ45 cable, that's your Ethernet cable, supplies power to the PTZ and also controls it. You understand? It's not like it doesn't even control by its own, right? It's connected to the controller. So this is what you have actually. You have this box. This is the PoE box, right? So your PTZ camera, we have this LAN or PoE ports. That's LAN ports. So you connect this port to this PoE box. Then this PoE box, you connect it to your controller. So your controller is also plugged here. So if you have 4 inputs, this takes up to 4 inputs. Can take up to 4 camera inputs. So if you have 4 inputs and one cable just run from there to this guy is going to see all the 4 cameras separately. So when you press camera 1, you can control zoom in, zoom out, tilt and pan with this. You understand? So that is how. So this is all you need. For you that already have a video mixer or switcher, you need the PTZ camera, a PoE box, and a controller. Okay.
What about the situation that we are not able to afford the controller and we just play the PTZ? How are we going to?
Well, they are actually affordable controllers, but then if you're not able to get this controller, right? The PTZ camera has remote control, right? There's a there are ways you can operate this. There's a remote control, and because it's IP, it has IP, right? You can also open your PC, open the IP, and you see the video feed, and then you can also toggle it, but that is not intuitive. For a church production that is, or a show production that is fast paced, it is very important that you hit. If I want to move to a subject, right, I just pan and zoom into that subject. We have PT. If you look at the, is there anybody without this? If you look at this, you can see a controller of 420,000 naira. You understand? So you can, there's a quite an affordable controller here. So yeah.
So can I make use of the PTZ and the controller without my laptop?
Yes.
Can work, right?
Yes.
That connecting it to the PoE box.
You without connecting it to the PoE box.
Yes. Just the PTZ and the controller.
PTZ to your control, from PTZ
directly to the controller.
The controller
Okay.
without my laptop.
Okay, you are confusing us. You say without the PoE box.
I said without
the laptop.
Connecting the PTZ to the PoE box, then to my controller.
So first of all, you need to configure your PTZ. You need your laptop for the IP address configuration. That's first thing you need your laptop for, to configure it, so that your controller can be able to see the PTZ. And once you've connected, you don't need a laptop again.
I mean, that's talking about the configuration of the IPs.
Perhaps they need a master class or something. Okay. All right. So, okay. There's a question.
So let me round off, right? We will take your questions. I'll be at the back. So okay. So we answer all of that. But let me tell you one thing. Everything about PTZ, most of us are hearing PTZ for the first time, are being introduced on how PTZ can be deployed to your workflow right here, right? So we are here to teach you everything. Now, you can contact us any day, and if you want us to host a live session with your crew, we will do that. If you want us to talk to your media team, we will do that. All we want is a way that we can work with you to see that these things are integrated into your workflow. And people online are asking, with 2 million naira, can you get a setup that's that can work for them? And my answer is yes, because if you look at this properly, this is 500,000 naira. This one here is 50K. This one is 550, and you can get this too. So your problem is solved. Do you understand? You even have change to get cables, your Cat6 cables and the rest. So with 2 million naira, you can get 2 PTZ cameras, a controller, and a PoE box comfortably well. So there is no professional camera that can give you the zoom range that the PTZ can give you at that amount. For 2 million naira, you cannot even get one. You understand? So we know, those of us here know about it. So we are at the back. So always, thank you.
All right, please again put your hands together for Camerajoint, Canon, Rockware. Let's keep clapping. HD Katov, Ulanzi, Yola Live, OC. All right, thank you very much. We want to appreciate everyone. I believe we have gotten to that point where I think some people are already saturated. All right, all my questions are answered. I just want to go back to work or go back home. All right. So, but if you still have further questions, they are there for you. Masterclass type kind of questions. They are going to answer. That's why they brought all those gears and accessories so that they can even demonstrate further to you than we've done in all the sessions. All right. I also want to quickly thank everyone who has come here today. Everyone who has told another person show up. Want to thank Emmanuel for showing up from Edo State. Please put your hands together for him. Um, and the gentleman here from Ibadan. I missed your name again. Samuel. Samuel, thank you very much. We appreciate you. A very quick announcement here. Well, Camerajoint has some refreshment for us. So again, you can put your hands together for them. So just sit tight and collect yours before you go. Also, a very important announcement. Camerajoint is hiring. All right. And the role is technical sales rep. All right. Someone who has a deep knowledge of how these things work and can also sell. All right. You see that type of thing that Victor was doing. All right. He's a sales guy. He's telling you you can get this for 2 million naira. But if you ask technical questions, he can also answer you. So they're looking for people like that. If you feel that you fit the bill or you know someone who does, all right, reach out to Camerajoint. You can send them a DM. What's the email address to send stuff to? HR at Camerajoint. Is there anything like that? Yeah? That's the HR executive at Camerajoint. All right. So tell me, what's the email address? Yeah. All right. Ify.chooks.
Ify.chooks at camerajoint.ng.
Yes. Or if you forget it,
Or you can just
DM them at Camerajoint. Okay. And if you know
check
anyone,
back to work.
just send the opportunity their way. Camerajoint pays well. Is that yes, that I know. All right. So right now we're going to bring everything to a close. Again, we're thanking all the partners and all those who have volunteered to be here today and to contribute to the success of the program. We also want to remind you the Camerajoint stand is right behind you. Wait to collect your food. If you have other technical questions, go to the back. They will answer you. Laptopspace.ng is here. They sell computer accessories and all of that, whether it's cable, whatever it is, their stand is there. And also mabikstudios.ng, the rental arm of Mabike Media Limited. They have all different kinds of gears and accessories. If you can't buy some of these things yet, you can rent or lease them at mabikstudios.ng. Their stand is also there. You can get hands-on experience with some of the items that they have. All right. So please feel free, everyone. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming. I love you. Bye now. Okay. Photo session. The wedding is not over yet. All right. Can move up. We can move up. Auntie Carlsberg. Eh? Okay. Is your lens wide? Don't take a shot without me. Oh. All right, Victor, please join us. Mabike people, don't. You're telling HR to bend. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, your name is so so so, and the PET name. Yeah, let's go. Thank you so much. That was so good. Yeah, thank you, VJ. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Ah, who is it?